squad.
What that then your heart, then your heart, what that dying, hang God, then your heart, then your oh, what that dying. This is the black pot.
Yabo!
AKA Kuku Show number where we speak truth to power, and I want to say thank you so much for coming along. Here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we would only criticize on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. This is the black pot. And from the newsreel, we always endeavor to keep it real. Now, the very first story we are looking at today, my brother, my sister, is taken from Ghana Web. And he says, it will be dishonest for anybody to say Ghanaians are living due to hardship. And this is coming from one Dr. Gideon Boako. We'll find out exactly who Dr. Gideon Boako is. And I read, Dr. Gideon Boako, the spokesperson for Vice President Dr. Mahama and Bawumia, has dismissed allegations that Ghanaians are leaving the country due to a loss of faith in the current administration. Now, speaking in an interview on City FM, Boako described such claims as dishonest and misleading, addressing the growing perception that many Ghanaians are immigrating due to dissatisfaction with the government. Dr. Boako argued that these assertions do not accurately reflect the reality and undermine the government's efforts. He emphasized the need to consider positive reasons for travel, such as increased cross-border trade. It will be the highest level of dishonesty if anybody says that people are living due to hopelessness or hardship. People travel for different reasons. Some are going to school, some for business. 10 years ago, how many Ghanaians used to travel to Dubai? So Dr. Gideon Boako says that the government is doing well, and that the efforts of the NPP government in power right now, led by Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, should be applauded for all the wonderful efforts. According to him, people are not leaving Ghana because of the loss of faith in this government in power. If people are living at all, we have to look at the fact that cross-border activities have increased due to the government's increased action on immigration and so on and so forth, and freedom of movement. He's also talking about the fact that many Ghanaians are only just traveling to do business and return to the country. My brother, my sister, people like Dr. Gideon Boako are candidates for hell. These are the people Satan is ready to embrace in hell for being so dishonest because their stomachs are full. There are some people who do not care about what other people feel as long as their bellies are full. One such person is Dr. Gideon Boako. I don't know him. I've never known him. This is the first time I'm hearing his name. But I can tell you on authority, these are the people who are perfect candidates for hell. And Satan is ready for them any day, any time. My brother, my sister, statistics have shown without any doubt that 99% of all Ghanaians in these times who are leaving the country are basically not leaving because they want to go for an excursion. They are not leaving because they are going for any business. They are living because the country has gone from bad to worse. You can pretend as much as you want. You can continue to tickle yourself and laugh. But the writing is on the wall. The elections are coming. And you'll be told in plain black and white whether your government is doing good or bad. And if Ghanaians allow themselves to be bribed, their conscience to be bought, their birthright to be paid for pittance, my brother, my sister, I will leave this country. And I keep saying it every day because I do not want to renege and give any excuses. When in the case, a rare case of this government being maintained in power, I will have to come back and give excuses. No, sir. My brother, my sister, look at the activities around Lampedusa. How many Ghanaians are involved in stowaway? In these days, stowaway activities have increased. Take a walk to the embassies right here in Ghana and ask them how many illegal submissions they have each day from people who are tired and just want to run out of this country. There's so much hopelessness in this country. The government in power does not see it. They have plunged this country into so much debt. Debt that will take another 1,000 years to pay. By what time these guys in power would have all turned into dry bones. That is if they have any bones in them at all. Wicked people. People like Dr. Gideon Boako, my brother, my sister, will sit on the right hand side of Satan on the day of judgment in hell. Because they do not care about the cry of the ordinary Ghanaian. How could you say this? Ghanaians are running out of the country in their droves. All because they are going out there to do business. They are going out for excursions, aka tourism. Go out there and see each day how many Ghanaians are chased out on the streets of New York. When you see the police running after people, illegal immigrants on the streets of Europe and America, trust me, 5 out of every 10 of them would come from Nigeria and Ghana combined. I am sad that this is happening. Recently, we saw a gentleman who showed us a certain passport that he preferred that. He was celebrating. He even said that if he doesn't go to heaven, he will not care because he is in heaven already. He left this country. He said bye-bye to us. At least we have seen 5 people on the internet who were celebrating their new statuses as non-Ghanaians. You still sit back because your belly is full. You can say things that are so rotten and stinking. Shame on you, Dr. Gideon Boako. You don't care about the people of this country. And I laud you. See how many people are dying on these streets. See how many beggars we have on the streets of Accra. Both mothers and fathers have left their homes because they don't have any homes anymore. And they are begging on the streets that they have turned into their homes. Their children have joined them on the streets to beg. The number of beggars in Accra alone has increased with this government coming into power. They have decided to disgrace us by plunging us in absolute debt. And they don't care. Each day you hear the reading of the budget or these people talking about the economy. It's all about borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, chasing the wind. What a shame. It's a disgrace. My brother, my sister, Dr. Gideon Boako, a spokesperson for the vice president, has only demonstrated his mastery of the craft of lying and pretense. And that is what is sending them back into opposition in oblivion. May these people rot in the deepest part of hell for trudging Ghanaians in these serious circumstances of hand to mouth. Some of them have visited early graves. Those of us who are still alive, it's just by his grace. We have learned how to fast with time. Hallelujah. Next thing I want to look at, my brother, my sister, this one is related to what we're looking at, and I need you to come along. It's also on Ghana Web, and it says, God will judge you. Prophet Oduro goes after Mahama and Bawumia. Prophet Oduro, the head pastor of Alabaster International Ministries, has warned political leaders, especially targeting the Vice President Dr. Mahama and Bawumia and former President John Dramani Mahama. Prophet Oduro's message came as a caution to fellow pastors about the perils of endorsing presidential hopefuls in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. According to him, religious leaders ought to speak the truth to politicians. He criticized Vice President Bawumia, who is also the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party, for what he called the continuation of COVID-19 related taxes even after the pandemic peak. Then I will look into the eyes of the Vice President Bawumia and tell him that since COVID, we are still being charged COVID levy. God will judge you for that. God will judge you, Mr. Mahama and Bawumia. God will judge you for e-levy. God will judge you for the unfair and all the unjust that you have brought to Ghanaians. Tell them, TA, don't tell them nonsense. God does not bless nonsense. TA! My brother, my sister, this is what this prophet is saying. He said he will look at Bawumia in the eye and tell him God will judge him for e-levy. God will judge him for the continual COVID levy. He will judge him for all the injustices meted out to the people of this nation. TA! My God have mercy. My brother, my sister, Ghana has the most number of taxes in the world. I said Ghana has more taxes than any country in the world. We are taxing everything, including the wind and the air. We are taxing everything, including everything. A government that told us before they were voted into power to cajole us and to lampoon us into believing that they were the new messiahs of the nation. That they would concentrate on productivity rather than taxation. Remember when Bawumia told us this? We bought into it. I went all the way to his house to congratulate him and to tell him that, listen, you are the guys we are waiting for to take over the country. We are tired of what we're going through. Little did we know that these guys were ready to plunge us into more serious stress and debt. We are going to make sure that everybody is going to be producing so that we will not base the economy on taxation. It will be on production. And we all clapped. Who does not want production? We all love production. We want everybody to be productive. And when productivity increases in the nation, certainly we'll be able to fight inflation. We'll be able to fight a nation that has so much been deflated and it can't fly anymore. Today, my brother, my sister, even men and women of God are raining curses on this government. Fetish priests are raining insults on this government and curses. If curses are anything to go by, this government, led by Mahama and Bawumia, are ready for hell. Overly ripe candidates for this nomenclature. Now the next thing I want to look at is quite sensitive, but I will still look at it. Watch this. Ghana Web. And he says, NPP is one reckless comment away from losing the election. And this is from one of our colleagues. His name is Kojo Yankson, right? Those of you who remember him very well will certainly remember the Chichinga comment, you know? You know, when he said that Chichinga seller around a certain area around Medina was responsible for a fire outbreak in the area. Remember, a few years back, and it came out that, well, it was just a conjecture. I mean, these are some of the hazards of the job. He is a guy that I love. Yes, yes, yes. And you would also remember him for, you know, some other escapades, which I don't want to go into. But he's a very nice personality. I've met him a couple of times. You know, I love him. His name is Kojo Yankson, and that is Kojo Yankson right there. All right, ace journalist Kojo Yankson has stated that the presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party has taken a significant risk with his appointment of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as his running mate for the 2024 elections. Now, according to Yankson, Dr. Bawumia could be committing a political suicide if his worst fears about the energy minister come true. Speaking on the Couch program, Kojo Yankson believed that Dr. Bawumia and his campaign team were correct in assuming that a significant win in the Ashanti region will be enough to secure victory on December 7, 2024. However, he disagrees with the idea that Martin Opoku Prempeh is the right person to help them achieve their percentage target in the elections. Yankson noted that while Matthew Opoku Prempeh holds significant influence in the Ashanti region, his perceived arrogance and tendency to make what he considers reckless comments will jeopardize Dr. Bawumia's chances. Oh my God, I truly sympathize with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He is not a man of his own. He's been advised to behave like a puppet. He's been advised and trained and modeled to behave, my brother, my sister, like a puppet, like a zombie, like a yes man. My brother, my sister, let me go straight up and look at an interesting thing. It's so sad. And so terribly sad, for that matter, that in the 21st century, in this modern time, where AI is doing a lot of thinking for human beings, where robots, my brother, my sister, are replacing human efforts, where with just one click, you tour around the world and return in 1 second. We are still so tribalistically inundated. Should I continue? It is so sad when I hear people say, okay, you know what? Because of votes from this area, we must pick somebody from that area. It doesn't matter whether the person has brains or not. He could be a headless jack. He could be somebody with no brains at all. Or somebody with the brains of a cockroach. They will choose you, all because of your geographical location. We no longer look at the content of the character. We are rather looking at the character and the geopolitical location. Hallelujah, Black Rasta, come down, my Lord. It is so sad, and it freezes my blood every time I have to think about this. It's no longer about who has the common sense, who can lead the nation. It's all about where we are located. And this is what Kojo Yankson is talking about. He's saying, okay, it is good to have votes in the Ashanti region, but the guy you are choosing, he is a loose cannon, extremely arrogant. He is better than everybody, including God. He's a guy who talks anyhow. Time and again, he has proven to everybody that this is the kind of person he is. Only one comment, and you are doomed for life. I am not waiting for that comment. I've heard enough of those comments. In fact, listen to me. Listen. If Satan was on the ballot paper, running with Bawumia and Napo, wallahi, I'll vote for Satan. Because I know exactly who Satan is. Satan will take me to hell. I prefer hell to Bawumia re-election. My brother, my sister, Kojo Yankson has said one thing, and it's so clear. One comment from this man is enough to destroy everything. But I will add, everything has been destroyed already. We don't need a second destruction. We are tired and fed up. Listen, to God be the glory. It's the orchestration of the Most High God that these people will never see the light of the day. That is why he has brought two arrogant people together, so that by their actions and inactions, they will go permanently into political obscurity. To God be the glory. Now the final thing I want to look at, and I won't spend more than 5 minutes on this. My brother, my sister, how Mahama will promote good governance. This one I'm reading from Modern Ghana. Let's look at this. It says, promoting good governance is essential for the overall development and well-being of a society. Some of the key reasons why promoting good governance is important include accountability, transparency, rule of law, economic development, social cohesion, and more. In line with this, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, in the December 7 elections in Ghana, has promised to work hard to strengthen key institutions such as the judiciary, anti-corruption agencies, and oversight bodies to ensure they have the necessary resources and independence to effectively carry out their mandates when elected as presidents. Mahama will prioritize transparency and accountability in government operations, ensuring that all decisions and actions are conducted in an open and transparent way. This will help to build trust between the government and the citizens. He will implement robust anti-corruption measures, including the establishment of a special anti-corruption court, the enforcement of asset declaration requirements for public officials, and the implementation of whistleblower protection laws. Whistleblower protection laws. I'll leave it here. Oh, Jesus have mercy. My brother, I am excited about something special. Mahama has been president before. We all saw what he did when he was in power. Many were discouraged, and many said they were tired and therefore wanted him out. To God be the glory. He was booted out. He accepted the results and went back quietly into obscurity. Now, after years of being in power, this new government has proven beyond doubt that no, they couldn't match up at all to what Ghanaians considered wacky, bad. This one is worse. Now his own party, the NDC, decided to bring him back. That simply means they believed in what he did, right, when he was here. A lot of the people who lost interest in Mahama, a lot of the people who criticized him, came back and said, well, because we do not have a better candidate, we will still stick our necks out and hope and pray that Mahama would keep his words and do better than he did. And I keep saying one thing, and I'll say it till the end of time. Mahama stands the brightest opportunity, my brother, my sister, of rewriting the history of politics in Ghana. Oh, Jesus, help me drum this message home properly. If, and remember the word is if Mahama becomes president again, he would be the very first man in the history of Ghana's politics to be president, sent back into opposition, and elected president again. Remember, I said president, not head of state. That's one. Number two, he would be the very first man in the history of this country to have been president at one time, sat back to look at all the mistakes he made in opposition, and have a rare chance of being voted back to correct all these mistakes. I will never forgive Mahama if he ever becomes president and he makes the same old mistakes that sent him into opposition. You guys will be shocked. We have said it time and again. I was one of those who supported Nana Akufo-Addo, raised him higher and higher. You all remember that. Today, when I'm on the neck of Nana Akufo-Addo, he's not able to respond because he knows how much support I gave him before he came into power. It's the same thing as A+, or even more. Supported him, spoke vehemently for Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Today, when I'm so angry, it's all about Ghana, not about personalities. If Mahama becomes president again, I will repeat it. Ghana first. Now, Mahama has tested opposition from the presidency. And he knows that Ghanaians appreciate heritage and not yabby, 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 yabby. Today, when they talk about hospitals, they point at Mahama. Kejetia Market, they point at Mahama. I'm sure that is making you happy. So if you want to be this happy for the rest of your life, it is about doing the same old things that the people said they love. The building of the hospitals, the infrastructure, Kejetia Market, and the rest of them. Look at Ghana first. Now you're talking about good governance. You're talking about transparency and accountability. That has been lacking in our politics for so long. Not even the Attorney General could save us from this menace. Not even the Office of the Special Prosecutor, my brother, my sister, saved us from this. If you are able to put a strong foot on it and get the trust of the people one more time, oh, Jesus have mercy. I will even champion the cause of the whistleblowing. Mahama wants to protect whistleblowers. My brother, a nation of whistleblowers is a very successful nation. You know what it means to be a whistleblower? To be able to say that, watch here, there's a man who is doing illegal connection. Hey, watch here, there's a man who is stealing from government. Hey, watch here, there's a man who is treating women badly in this office in order to give them jobs. That is what is making America America. Loyalty to the nation, patriotism. So when they see anything that is hurting the nation, they report it by whistleblowing. If there was a whistleblower on the Titanic, it wouldn't have sunk that fast. Hallelujah. A nation of whistleblowers is a successful nation. I'm glad that Mahama is mentioning this. But in our country, is the worst of it. A whistleblower is called Kokonsa. In Jamaica, it's even worse. They call you what? Informer. And when you hear the word informer in Jamaica, people are holding on to their guns. Finger on trigger, ready to unleash bullets. Jamaicans hate informers. That is why Jamaica is where it is. Whistleblowing is not encouraged. In Ghana, it's the same thing. An Ashaiman thief can go and steal all the way from East Legon, cantonments. All he needs to do is to find his way back to Ashaiman. He will be protected. After all, he's their thief. A thief coming all the way from Nima, all he needs to do is to go to East Legon and steal. Go all the way to cantonments and such other places. And when he's being chased, just go back to Nima. They will protect you because you are their thief. Yet they will go to the mosque and say, La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Every thief will go to hell. Wallahi barawa de duka yashiga uta. But wallahi barawa de duka shageni. Yet you are protecting a thief in your house. Abokin barawo ni. La ilaha illallah. Izazulzulatul alzuzulzala. Ya gwada wei barawa de duka yashiga uta. Allah beso barawo. Don shikinkai barawo ni shekabari. As he's speaking, there are two thieves hiding in his room that he's protecting. After all, they are his thieves. The same imam who is saying his house illegal connection. He's using it to make tea, heat water and make tea, and use it to drink his tea for Ramadan. He's sleeping with people's wives. And his son is stealing money. He's doing sakawa and bringing money to him to buy new clothes. And when you check him out, my brother, he himself, he's been to Mecca 3 times. And all the times, it's Sakawa boys who took him to Mecca. Why? It's been the Black Port, a.k.a. Koko Show No More, where we speak truth to power. A nation of whistleblowers is a successful nation.